No, we're not on that song. Kicks down your doors and smack your chick.
Hey.
Just to show you Monica not having it.
Hey.
So in love with you like a drug advocate.
Hey.
So unreal.
What you do?
Ooh, oh. Sorry, we recording?
Oh, wow. He didn't even tell us. That's crazy. Welcome back to another episode of I Said What I Said Late Podcast. I am your gracious host, Kamsz, at Kamsz, KAMSZZ on Instagram and Twitter. To the right of me, we have
TJ, and I am your other host. And you guys can find me on Instagram at High Definition and Twitter at Big Reddington.
And on the mic
today,
we got Mr. O Gems himself.
Mr. O Gems himself. First of all,
thank you.
For anybody listening to this for the first time, Omar is our engineer. Shout out to him. You guys can find him on Instagram at OSProduction __. And I just wanted y'all to know that he really does be dropping the gems, usually off air.
Right.
So when you hear this little like O Gems reference, is just so that you know that he be having the gems. Like he be saying some shit. So we decided to bring him on today to say some shit.
And mean it.
Yeah, and mean it. And mean it.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for having me back. You know, I'm grateful.
True. Are you?
I am grateful. It's a great show.
You don't even know what he's about to get. I'm gonna last
I feel like that's the line that people say. You know how basketball players, like interviews, they all say the same shit. Like, you know, we just had to go hard and teamwork, and then we just got the job done, and it was they're a good team, and we tried to.
Just got one stop and open the game.
But then we just had to go out there and we had to do. We had
leave
to
it all on the floor.
Right.
They love to leave it all on the floor.
Leave it all on the floor. What does that even mean?
First of all, pause.
We just had to go out there and leave it all on the floor. Leave all of what out on the floor?
First of all, pause.
Let it hang on the floor.
Let it hang on the floor. It's a great group of guys. He's a hell of a coach. Shall we go on?
First of all, great group of guys is like standard across all interviews at the end of a game. Yes. Sorry, we digress.
This is not a basketball podcast. Right. But that's facts.
We digress. So before we jump into today's topic or topics, shout out to Kamsz for a few reasons. One, she just had a birthday. So
Taurus gang.
Right. Taurus gang.
You heard?
If you haven't wished her a happy born day already, it's not too late. The month is not over yet.
Happy birthday, Kamsz.
Thank you.
Right? And she also happened to be our creative spotlight artist for the month of May. And I just feel like it was only right because niggas threw me up in there in April and was like, oh, by the way. But Kamsz is actually involved in different things. Like she's in all around creative. So I felt like it was fitting to acknowledge her during her birthday month. So I just wanted to just touch base with her before we get into today's shenanigans about how your birthday went and your week and what you did and how was it and all of that.
You're annoying. First of all, you were annoying for making me the creative spotlight of the month. I was like, why am I getting all these notifications?
Right, why is my phone going off like this?
It's never good when you start getting too many like notifications at one point. You're like, what the fuck?
Right.
Did one of my nudes leak? That's crazy.
Please.
That's crazy.
Listen here. The SpongeBob meme.
I had a great birthday. I flew out the day before my birthday. I went to Dominican Republic.
Flew out.
You flew out or somebody
she got
flew out?
I didn't get flown out anyway.
She got flew out.
I flew myself out. Thank you. The day before my birthday, so that was lit. I was there from Tuesday to Saturday. The weather was beautiful. Water was amazing. If you know me, you know I'm a fish. I like to be in the water. So
Big fish.
Yeah. The beach. We see what type of time he's on, right? See what type of time he's on.
President. Thank you, because that
Big
comment
fish.
wouldn't have been here otherwise.
Right. I did some ATVing, swimming with the dolphin. That was dope. I thought I was gonna be more scared. It was actually pretty cool. I was anxious before I got there, but once I got there, it was dope. Actually, I touched the stingray too. That I was more afraid of, because that nigga was wilding in the water.
It's a stingray.
But checking things off your bucket list, doing new things.
Touch a stingray was on your bucket list?
No, it wasn't, but it was kind of part of the
Tonguing
experience.
down dolphins was on your bucket list?
I always wanted to do that, swim with the dolphins, so that was dope.
Tongue down a dolphin?
Nah.
I didn't do that, but I did take a picture with a dolphin as well. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, you tongued it down or no?
Now, the funny thing that you're saying that is that...
I'll leave that to Kamsz.
The dolphin actually stick his tongue out.
See, look.
And the guy was like, "Oh, he being fresh." I was like, chill.
She's like, I know what you're here for.
Right. We know why you here.
Chill.
You know why I'm here.
I didn't go ziplining. I chickened out of that. My friends went ziplining, but I was like, nah, my feet gotta stay on the ground unless I'm in the water. Like,
facts.
Can't do it. I ain't gonna be able to do it.
First of all, no.
Ziplining, my nigga.
I feel like that's not that bad.
Nah. First of all, they told me that they had to hike up to the top of the mountain.
Sounds about right.
They said it was like 7 different courses until you got to the end.
Okay.
Nah. First of all, if you ever look down to see how far you could possibly fall, nah. I'm afraid of heights, so that's another reason why I wouldn't do something like that.
Same here, unless you're trying to taste death. Don't be doing that zip.
So before going into my birthday, I was like, maybe I should. I feel like it would be fun, but then as the time got closer, I was
once she got there, she was like, but then you flew.
I'm not afraid of flying because I've been flying since I was young. So I'm not afraid of flying.
I feel like that would have been fun. But I mean, it's not like you went and didn't do anything fun. You just didn't zip line.
I didn't zip line. I couldn't bring myself to do it.
Next time.
Yeah.
I got you.
You want to know how death feel? It's that part when you fall,
right?
That between the line and the floor,
exactly,
and everything just go black.
And I just turned another year. I'm trying
to get her to zip line in the future, and you talking about death right now. She's gonna remember this conversation. Be like, remember when he said
I was playing with death.
Right. I'm like, bro, chill right now.
No, I'm trying to prolong
That's why I don't do roller coasters. I don't do none of that.
Yeah, I don't do roller coasters either. I used to do roller coasters, but I don't know. It's actually as I got older, I got more anxious. I was like, oh nah, I'm really afraid of heights.
I do roller coasters because I don't like them. Because it gives me, and I'm not afraid of heights.
Sounds like torture.
I'm not afraid of heights, but it gives me that rush of bro, this shit is crazy. I'm doing some shit that is kind of dangerous. Roller coasters are kind of dangerous, especially after watching Final Destination.
Yo, that's my movie.
I was like, but I actually enjoy them for that reason. So I think I actually would have gone ziplining. Especially because I'm not afraid of heights.
I think you probably would have done that.
I definitely
But I'm good over here. We're good over here.
Yeah, I'm good on this side.
Right. Okay, literally that side. Got it. Okay.
Right.
We. All right. Okay, it's just me. Got it.
You and your own with that one.
Yeah. It's okay. I'm all right with that.
It was great. Overall, I had a great time. I was happy at the time that I went because New York weather was bugging for the couple of weeks leading up to my birthday, and I'm like, yo, it's May, why is it raining in 37 degrees?
Been bugging.
So to leave here and hit 85 degree weather and it was just nice.
I think it's also nice the timing that you came back, because from
nice
now on is actually sort of starting to stay in the nice degree weather range.
It just rains every Friday.
Right.
Which is trash.
Right.
I don't like the rain, so it's just if we have plans and it's raining, if you don't confirm with me,
you stay in it. Yeah. It's not so well. Maybe it's not so bad for me now because I don't have hair to worry about. So I just be out in the rain.
No, you wilding. I be seeing people walking through the rain yo, that doesn't bother you.
Not pouring.
Be soggy.
That's a little different.
No, we need to speak to God about that. Only rain during the nighttime. Do not rain
when nobody outside. When you personally aren't outside.
Facts.
It's fuck everybody else.
During the nighttime, during the weekdays.
Yeah. But not on a weekend. Starting your weekend off, it's just pouring.
I feel like May period. Like
April
cut that shit off in April.
Yeah,
like
that's
May
April
1st. I don't want to see a drop of nothing.
Facts. It's like April. What showers bring May flowers? It should have kept it that way.
But from now on, it seems like it's starting to stay relatively nice. So you came back, nice little transition from
good. I'm happy
coming from DR to back to New York. So
for sure,
I'm glad that you enjoyed your vacation.
Thank you.
Hopefully, sometime in the future we can go ziplining, and I can convince you that it actually is a good idea, and then we can just make it happen.
That's a no for me, dog.
All right, well,
but we can vacay.
I guess. No, it's not okay.
If you I'll have the footage so I could live on to tell your story.
That's wild. So on that note, we're gonna transition away from Kamalia's vacation.
Word.
Since apparently I'm gonna die on vacation.
Nah.
I guess that's what we're doing these days.
God forbid.
We're dying on vacation. We're talking about, I guess, a few things today. Today was so crazy because we came in prepared on like, this is what we're going to do. And then, of course, the old gems usually happen.
Yes.
And when we're not recording and then we're talking about all of these things like, yo, we should talk about this today. We should talk about this. We should talk about this. So we're going to talk about a few things today. Kamsz, you can start us off with our first topic.
So the first thing we was talking about was Future. So
yeah, that nigga wildin'.
Not our futures, but
Future the rapper.
The Future, right? Future the rapper.
So for those of you who are not up to date, baby Future, who resides with Ciara and Russell Wilson, had a birthday. Apparently, he turned 5. Ew. So Russell Wilson went on to, he posted Future and wrote like this very heartfelt post about, how his life changed since Future's been in his life and blah blah blah. And
you
then
can't not talk about how someone made such an awesome post about how somebody changed their life and then insert blah, blah, blah. Like, I just feel like you can't do that.
It was a very heartfelt post.
It was.
And so people are clowning Future today because when you go on his page, I'm actually going to read this one because it wasn't too lengthy. So it's a picture of baby Future with a rollie on. And it says, it was some...
Sorry. You gotta read Rus Wilson's post if you're gonna read Future's post.
Let me go to Danger Wilson.
Dangerous Wilson. We gotta let the listeners know, if they don't already know, like the difference between the two.
Okay, so this is what Rus Wilson wrote. From the moment we came into each other's worlds to now, 5 years later, you have changed my life and my heart for the better. You are the greatest gift I could have ever asked God for. I will always love you, guide you, teach you, and care for you. Happy 5th birthday, Future. Papa Russ loves you.
That nigga wildin'.
Cute. Yes.
I'm getting the same feeling that I got when August was coming at Jada.
That's wild.
Remember that post? August posted about Jada?
Yeah.
Same feeling. Like, you should not be doing that. Like, keep that indoor.
Should we go on what we feel about this post first, or should I read both posts and then we'll talk about both of them?
Read Future's post first, and then we're gonna come back to Omar because he's
got a lot of he's hot over there. So then we go over to Future's page, and it's a picture of baby Future. Oh, the picture for Rus Wilson, it was a picture of him and Future in go-kart or something like that. So this picture Future has on his page is just a picture of baby Future with a rollie on, and it says
important.
It was something about that rollie when it first touched my wrist. In quotes, Meek. So that's a Meek bar. So what really made this post pop out to me is the comments, actually. Should I get to the comments?
It's always
first?
the comments. First of all, it's always the comments. Like, the comments are always what you read to get a feel for what's happening.
Going on.
You skip past the post itself
and then read the comments, and you're like, I gotta
what people are saying, and it's like, oh yeah, y'all wildin'.
So there was a lot of he don't know the value of a rollie. He wants toys. Somebody wrote, not happy birthday, son, but a Meek Mill quote. This one had me dead. It must be nice to have 2 fathers. Mine still ain't come back from the store.
See, why?
That one had me crying.
Why people can't never
people
chill?
Are disrespectful.
Why people can't never chill?
Somebody put Future Wilson with the hard eyes emoji. Little Future just wanted some Legos. What is a kid gonna do with the Rollie? Can't even tell time on that thing. This one went in. The uneducated black man way of parenting, buying a 5-year-old a Rolex instead of investing in his future. Russell Wilson, Bill Gates, and smart educated father would never do something this dumb.
How you know I didn't do all that?
So,
and the last one, kid probably wanted the Spider-Man watch.
So Omar.
Yeah.
Defend it.
Tell me how you feel. Because you had a lot to say before
Russ
Cam
is wilding. Like,
sentence.
you did not have to put that on social media. Like, congratulate. I'm saying happy. You can say happy birthday to my son and all that, but you got to add all that extra sauce to it. It's like
what do you think is extra about it? Yeah, what's the extra sauce?
The extra sauce is like, you don't gotta, like I said, same thing that August was doing at Jade or whatever. It's like you could kindly say happy birthday to my son, blah blah blah. First of all, he's not your son, so don't even say that. But it's like,
but is he not his, like, he's his stepson, right? So it would be a problem if he wasn't showing as much love to his stepson as he shows to his biological child, would it not?
Look, it's your stepson, so when it comes to his birthday, I'm gonna need you to step your ass to the side and let me congratulate my son. At least let me get my post off first.
Oh, I don't know when the 2 posts went up.
At least let me get my post off first.
Said, let me get my post off first.
I let you get your post off first and you put a Meek Mill quote. So does it really matter if your post went up before mine?
What's your problem with Russell Wilson?
Yeah, because I feel like it's a deep-rooted...
I feel like you ain't make the team and he made the team. Seahawks. Like,
y'all got beef.
What's the problem?
It's like, it's my child. Let me say happy. Let me do all of that with my child. Like, you did that with your kids. I didn't do that with my kids. Like...
So you feel like he did too much? Like,
yeah, I feel like he did too much because the kid doesn't care whether you post it on social media. You could have simply got him a gift. That's about it.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. In both situations, though. In both situations, like
Future didn't have to post,
and he didn't have to post either, and that's his biological son. Russell Wilson didn't have to post either. I guess they both were in a moment of like, yo, it's my son's birthday. Like, I don't think...
Wait, you said in Future and he didn't have to do that?
Well, yeah, if you're saying that the kid doesn't care about social media posts, that would hold true for both parents. Like, nobody has to post him.
Right.
Like, you guys could do whatever you guys do in private, but no one has to post like, hey, happy birthday to my son.
Right.
Or do you think that because Future is the biological father, he has the right to post?
Yes. That's what I'm saying.
But not
Russell.
Because that's
like
Russ
is technically like raising him. He lives with him. He's with him on a day-to-day basis. So I guess my question would be, what is your, I guess, issue with him?
It's like the school is throwing a birthday party for my kid, and I show up with a gift, and I show up with like a fucking Spider-Man watch, and there you go, coming out of nowhere with a Rolex on my son. Now, how that's gonna make me feel?
Okay,
like let me like first of all, he doesn't spend that much time with me anymore. Like, let me have that moment. Let me have that.
Whose fault is that?
What you mean? Whose fault is that?
If you have to choose to be in your child's life and how much time you're going to spend. So if you're saying he doesn't spend that much time with his son, whose fault is that?
I mean, that could be the law.
It could be,
the mother.
It could be different pieces. Because I know part of it does have to do with Ciara.
Or my profession.
His own. Okay.
All of that. I
think it would depend. Because once I think their relationship ended, there was a certain like distance.
There was custody.
Not saying that Ciara, I don't know specifics of the situation, but you could tell like the energy that she put out there was just like, I'm not trying to be connected with Future anymore.
And plus there was rumors going around that she was trying to change his name. Like, that's wild, disrespectful.
Which is a little crazy. But this is my thing. I agree with Kamsz to a certain degree. Like, baby Future does like live with them. And I don't think that Russell Wilson sees Future as his stepson. Like, as much time as they spend together, he and Ciara have a daughter together. They're siblings. Like, this is my family. So I don't think he made that post to sort of outdo his biological father.
I think that's just how he genuinely feels.
Yeah, I think that's how he genuinely feels about him. And I personally don't think that he did too much. I think it's only a do too much because it was in comparison to what Future posted. If Future posted that same kind of post, I don't think there would have been much comparison. But of course, social media being social media, they run with the jokes and everything like that. So it's been this like issue of like, oh, you got him a Rollie, or you quoted a Meek bar and you didn't do as much as Russell Wilson did. And
they both, he actually had a party with like both of his parents. So like,
niggas got money. I had to share my parties. And I didn't even have a sibling with a birthday around my time. And I still had to share a party
like,
if I got
I just
one.
feel like at that point, it's like, let's say the kids grow a little older or whatever, and they both have different parties for them. Now the kids kind of got to decide which father loves me more than the other. It's like, come on.
Not necessarily. It's because it shouldn't be about who loves me more. I feel like more so the present gift giving. I think we spoke about this on another podcast. To me, is about you showing how well you know someone and how the person is going to appreciate the gift or receive the gift. So that's my problem. Not necessarily like my problem, because these people could go about their lives. But that if I was in that situation, that would be my issue with it, is that he's a 5-year-old kid with a Rolex. Not saying that's the only gift that he gave him, but I feel like that's not a practical gift or a gift that a 5-year-old necessarily cares about. So that would be my only issue with the situation.
I don't think it's what's the word, like a conscious thing, but I do agree to some extent, because I was raised in that sort of situation. I didn't necessarily reside in the same house for my entire childhood with my biological father. It was my stepfather at the time, and with my mom, of course. And it wasn't a situation where I necessarily compared the two, but that sort of stepfather presence or that additional parental figure made it a situation where it was like, I got certain things from this parent and I got certain things from this parent. And it wasn't me figuring out like, oh, this one gives me more and this one gives me less. But it was, I don't know, I feel like it was a subconscious thing of like who I went to for what situation.
Right,
and then
right.
sometimes it made it easier to quote unquote choose my stepfather in certain situations because we lived together, not even because he did more or less. It was just because we were always around one another more frequently than my biological father. So I do think that sometimes it can create like a sticky maybe situation.
Because like as a man, I feel like as a man, like when she start getting in adulthood, things becomes all about providing for your family and stuff, and like you don't want anything to be, in competition with you at that point. So it's like, if I get something for my child, he does not give me that same joy that I used to get. So it's like, damn, I can't even provide that anymore because someone else is providing that. It fucks with you as a man.
I think it shouldn't be a competitive energy. I feel like when people are in those kind of situations, if anything, that means like you have a bonus person, another supporter, another person in your village to raise your child. I don't think it should be a competitive thing. Like if I was in a situation where I had a child and then the person I'm with now, my child has a stepmother, I would want to be on good terms with this person because they're spending time with my child. I would want to make sure that they're treating my child accordingly. So it's like, to me, it wouldn't be like, oh, damn, she did this with him. It's like, oh, that's what's up. Like, I do these things with my child. You got to make your time special and hope that...
we need a list of things where fathers can do and things that stepfathers can do without stepping over the father's duties.
But I think when it comes to that point, some people don't even consider the, like, this is my stepbrother or this is my stepfather. It's kind of like, this is my family. Especially, like, in this case, Future has been with Russell. He said 5 years. That's literally his entire life. So if this is the person that I've been living with for 5 years, their relationship is going to be significant, whether the biological father agrees with it or not. They have a significant relationship because of the fact that he's been in his life from birth, or a little, like maybe one till now. You understand? So I don't know. I think ego kind of plays into that as well.
Yeah.
And then it's social media, because social media is what's comparing Russell Wilson's parenting to Future's parenting. But then it's also ego. Okay, I'm not with you all the time. A rollie could seem like overcompensation. Like, oh, he's not giving you a rollie. I can give you all this money. I can give you X, Y, and Z. Russell Wilson probably, he does have a lot of money, but he chooses to show his love and affection in a different kind of way. That also goes back to how they're raised or what their idea of showing your child.
Styles.
Yeah.
I think it also ties into the fact that he doesn't reside with Future. So Future has to give him something tangible to hold on to.
Yeah.
Like Russell Wilson is around him. I don't have to give you a watch.
Right.
I give you what I give you on a regular basis.
I
but
make breakfast every morning.
Future is not there every single day. So I have to give you something that you can look at and pay attention to later on in the week when I'm not physically with you. Not saying it had to be a rollie.
That's what I'm going to say. Like, something tangible didn't have to be a rollie.
But
I just feel like
if that's what you want to do, then
yeah. But your 5-year-old, how many times have you seen kids? You know, you're excited to buy them these cute little gifts, and they're playing with the box.
Excited.
I mean, people do that all the time. They pretty much overspend on things that their child would never care about.
Yeah.
Like, you know, most of the children birthed these as just adults being there. It's like a drinking party for adults, really.
Yes, I've been.
So Future buying Rolex is like another level.
Him.
It's like another level of that.
Yeah, I can say that I bought my son a Rolex.
Yeah, it's more for
because
Future
I couldn't
than it
afford
is for baby Future.
Right. So that's my whole problem with the Rolex situation. Like, you didn't do this because
unless
my
he asked
son
for a Rolex,
really wants,
which we don't know.
I'm pretty sure
we don't know baby Future. We don't know. We don't know. And I did mention this prior to recording. If baby Future asked for a Rolex, then I feel like that's a valid gift to give him. If you're one of those parents like, yo, it's my son's birthday, I want to make sure he gets what he wants. And if I can afford it, if I can do it, then I'm going to do it. If he asks for a Rolex, it's just a watch. Get you a Rolex. It's just a watch. Like,
I mean, at the same time, you know, let's not act like time is not important, you know? You gotta
you caping with this?
right.
Caping with this.
You gotta invest in your time.
He don't even know how to tell time, probably.
Or spell time.
Probably. Yeah. So
that's I make when E is at the end.
Spell it out.
Right. Sound it out.
I don't have the
please stop.
We're just talking
timid. I have the timid.
It's time. Shut
up. So but I think that's important to discuss. There are so many like things that like go into that situation. Just the relationship that the mom has with that person's father. But I think ultimately it's just a part of growing up. Like you don't find too many grown like conscious people like, I'm going to be involved with this woman and she already has a child, but that's not my child. So I'm not going to be involved in that child's life. It's like, yo, this is what I'm signing up for. This is her family. I'm trying to make her my family. This is all my family.
And I think Russell gets a bad rep for doing exactly that. Like if he was now married to Ciara and had, you know, now they have their own daughter and he was just focused on their daughter and not about baby Future, then he would be getting a whole bunch of slack for that. Oh, how can he be with her? How can he be married to her and doesn't pay him attention? He doesn't say happy birthday to him. So you can't really win with social media in general. But I like Russell Wilson. I think like he's just a regular guy and things get like blown out of proportion because they're comparing him to Future.
I agree.
So a lot of people just feel like, oh, he's doing too much. Like, no, like he's just loving. He's just loving his wife.
You ain't even gotta post it. Like, let me get my post off first, and then you could talk all that little 5-year shit you was talking about. Sounds so harsh.
Like,
so harsh.
Even when he's like doing regular stuff with Ciara, it's like, oh, he's so corny. This nigga's making it hard for us. He's making it hard for us. Like, no, he's just being a regular guy, doing things that regular people should want to do for someone they're married to.
Care about.
But he just gets a bad rep for being a good guy, I guess.
So, Russell Wilson, if you're listening to this podcast, Omar does not fuck with you. Kamsz and I fuck with you.
But we do.
Kamsz and I fuck with you, but Omar does not fuck with you. And I guess next year when baby Future turns 6,
you gotta let Future post
sort of wrapping up
first.
Kindergarten and such.
I fuck with your game, but you're off court.
That's so wild. That's wild. When you on the field,
he says, "Shut up and dribble."
That's
shut up and run.
Right.
Oh, shut up and throw.
That's what shut up and throw. Like. That's what it sounds
That's
like.
crazy, Omar. We fought against
this.
That's
so wild. I can't account for this old gem. Nah. It's not even a gem. I can't
that wasn't
even
a gem.
Second that. I'm sorry.
Sorry. You got us looking crazy. We brought you here for the gems.
I had to get that off.
First of all, I just want y'all to know he was over there tight, like boiling smoke coming out his head. Like
I wish they could have saw him.
No, because I grew up and I also have a stepmother, like that I grew up with, like half, like my biological and my stepmother. And there's certain stuff like that my stepmother does for me. Like I will not tell that to my mother because I know how she's gonna feel about it. You get what I'm saying?
How do you feel about her doing those things for you?
My stepmother?
Yeah.
You said let your mother get her post off first. That's what you when she did something for you. Is that what you said?
If let's say your stepmother
mom get her gift off first.
Let's say you graduated and your stepmother's like, "Oh, I'm about to buy Omar a car." You ain't gonna say no. Take that car back because my mom's gonna buy me a car first. You gonna take the car?
No, I mean if my mom's gonna buy me a car and I know she's planning on buying me a car, then I'm gonna tell my stepmother. No, you
probably mention it. Yeah, you might mention it.
But like if my stepmother buys me a car. And like my mom sees me with it and asks me, "Oh, how did you got that car?" I'm not gonna tell my mom my stepmother bought it for me.
Why though?
Is he a liar?
Because I know how she gonna feel about it. Like because she can't do that. That kind of gotta fuck with your mom. If she can't do that and someone else is doing it for you,
I feel you, but because it's your mom, I don't want to I don't want to say too much, but I feel like. It's an ego thing at that.
It is an ego thing, which will always exist because it's like it's your seed.
To me, like as a parent, maybe I'm not a parent. I hope that I would feel like as long as this person has good intentions for my child, it shouldn't matter. Like if I can't do it and like someone in their village can do it, like listen, at the end of the day, my child is still winning, regardless, winning.
But that's only gonna happen if those two people are on the same page. So if not in your specific situation, but let's just use Future and Rus. If they were connected on the same page, it wouldn't matter that Future's getting him a Rolex and Russell Wilson is posting this crazy, hefty, emotional, vulnerable post about him. It would just be like, yo, you looked out for our child.
Right.
Like versus a competition, like you mentioned earlier. It doesn't have to be a competition. I understand what you're saying, like to some degree, as far as like, I wouldn't want my mom, or even if my mom got me a car and my stepmom didn't, I wouldn't want my stepmom to feel inadequate or a certain way about that. But if they're on the same page, then I think they'll both be okay. Like I wouldn't buy you a car and think twice about how is so-and-so going to feel about this. It's just like they might contribute to the shit. And it might
you
be
buy me a car,
gift,
you pay for my car insurance, you get my shit registered. Like we live.
But I just think
it takes a village.
Yeah. No, for real. It requires you to kind of be an adult about certain situations and just, I don't know, like not being your ego about certain things. Just be on the same page.
In your bizag.
So yeah, Rus, if you're listening to this,
she's gonna try to make clear that she still fuck with Rus. Huh?
We still hear it. I said what I said. The podcast. We still fuck with you.
Yes, we fuck with your posts. Right. If you got it off first, if you got it off last,
second, it doesn't matter.
Right. We fuck with you here.
We stand. I stand with Rus.
We stand. We stand. So yeah, we had to get that off because we was talking about that offline, and it was getting a little crazy. So yeah, we wanted to talk about that.
Yeah,
talk about that.
And then the other thing that we were talking about offline was financials.
So much shit.
Saving, right?
Financial saving, and then like the notion of someone being cheap. Like what? So I will ask you guys, what to you will make you say, yo, that person is cheap?
Unless you know my financial like stand with me as far as like how much I need, how much bills I have, how much I need to save in order to, you know, be comfortable mentally. Like, don't call me cheap. Like,
would something make you think that someone else is cheap though? Like, what would make you be like, oh, that person is being cheap? Like, what's your definition of cheap?
It's like, I don't want to say if I know that you have it, because you don't know sometimes. But like, there's
you know.
There's yeah, but like I know.
Yeah,
you know.
But I know, like, when we go, like, let's say we go out to a place and eat, and the bills come up to like $20. It's like, I know you got the extra 10. Like, don't have me pay for all 20.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a matter of consistency. I'm sorry to cut you off. How consistently that happens. Because sometimes you might have it, but you're trying to save, or you don't want to spend it on this because you feel like maybe this is not as important. But if we going out 6 times a week, and 6 times a week, you just like, oh, no, I'm not trying to, like, damn, like.
Does it depend on if it's a male or a female?
Women are not cheap.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I mean, whether
women are not cheap.
I might go with that.
I mean, it's a matter of relationship. Like, what's the relationship status? Like, we're just friends, and yeah, I definitely call you cheap. I'll call you out on it.
You do not care today.
But like, if
we're friends, you cheap, cheap. Like,
but if we're like dating, yeah, like, you know, few times when we go out, I might, you know, pay the bills at the same time. But, you know, I would expect you to tip from time to time.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to pay for the meal, tip from time to time. Or wherever we're going, like, pay for a cab from time to time. Things like that.
Okay. So cheap to y'all seems to the consensus is like, if it's a consistent thing.
Yeah, the consistency, definitely.
I think it contributes, yeah.
If we're going, like you said, if we're going out 6 days a week and you're not offering to put no bread towards anything.
Yes.
That makes you cheap.
Yes.
Okay.
Because if you're not trying to pay up, then you should have stayed your ass home.
Correct.
To a certain degree.
So is cheap and broke, they're two different things.
Yeah.
First of all, if you broke, you shouldn't be going anywhere 6 times a week.
Right. If you're cheap, you have it.
You just don't want to spend it. When you're broke, you just don't got it. And then there's different levels to broke, because I might say I'm broke because I don't want my account to reach X amount of money, where you might say you're broke because you have $0.
$0 in my
so
bank
there's
account.
2 different things.
Right. Yeah, but I think that men tend to be cheaper than women.
When you said that women are not cheap, like,
what?
I really want to back that up.
Men tend to be cheaper.
We're about to get into that.
Women, and
I don't
think you really believe that.
I don't think that women are cheap,
and I mean that shit.
I mean it too. Also, I don't think that women are cheap. And before you, because I know you're about to get in your bag.
On your shit, like.
I don't think that women are cheap. I think that there are a lot of women who have the mentality like, if somebody else could pay for it, then I'm not going to pay for it. So they use that to their advantage. Like, I got the money, but if he's tricking, or he says he's going to pay, or if he says it's on him, I'm going to keep that shit in my pocket. I feel like there are women who do that. That doesn't necessarily mean like they don't have the money to do those things, but people feel like it's better when you don't have to pay for it. Like, people like to say everything's better when it's free.
I mean, I understand that it's better, you know, that the money's not coming out of your pocket. But I feel like overall, women feel like men have to pay for most of the stuff. So going with that mentality, it's like they feel like they have to make them cheap. They feel like they have to save their money. They don't have to spend anything, even if they have it, which falls into the definition of being
what
cheap.
You said, yeah, that makes sense.
So it's like, unless you're an independent woman, and most independent women, they're pretty much independent simply because they grew up in a single, you know, they grew up either with just their mother. And most independent women that I know, they just grew up with their mother, seeing their mother do both,
like both
the father and the mother position and stuff. So they feel like their mother's constantly teaching the same thing, like, you don't need no man to do this, which is kind of, I don't know, I don't really agree with that. For mothers to be doing that, but they doing it because that's what they went through.
Yeah, it kind of makes your daughter bitter from like a young age, though.
Yeah,
like, I don't fucking need a man. Like,
exactly.
Nobody, even if you don't need someone, everyone generally wants to feel wanted.
Wanted.
Or like their presence means something. Mm-hmm. So if you're constantly making someone feel like I don't fucking need you, then it's like, then why am I here? Like that's the fastest way to get me the fuck out of here. Like, oh, you don't? All right.
Oh yeah.
Bye.
Oh, that's your word?
Yeah.
I say that women are not cheap for a different reason.
All right, go ahead. Get your shit off, TJ.
And I'm gonna tell you why. Because
Taurus women are not
I think
cheap.
that, well, me personally, I'm not cheap. Just thinking about Taurus, like the type of woman that I am.
A Taurus.
And my fellow Taurus
gang,
to my
gang.
left,
Mm-hmm.
who is also not cheap. But I think a part of it comes from women feeling like they have had to succumb to men in the past, where now it's kind of like this, I don't know, this direction that we're moving in of like, I can do for myself. I want this $2,000 bag. I'm going to get it. Versus I'm not paying X amount of money for this when I can do whatever. Like, you have those moments where you want to find deals. It's like, yo, I could find this for cheaper or somewhere else. But I think in general, and I do think that women tend to be a little more materialistic than men when it comes to certain things like hair and fashion and makeup and certain and things that cost money. And I think we feel more inclined to just get it. Like, yo, I want this bag, I want this lipstick, whatever it is. I'm just gonna get it.
You're speaking more on like personal like values, personal like wants and needs and things like that. But I'm just saying, as far as being cheap, when it comes to someone else being involved.
But even something like that, like going out, I think some women do have that mentality of like they expect a man to pay for them when they go out. But then I think there are other women like myself who are just like, yo, I'm going out. I'm going to pay for myself. Like, we can split this bill down the middle. I don't care how much it costs. Or it's not happy hour yet. I don't care. I'll pay full price for the drink. I don't have to sit here for 2 hours and wait until happy hour starts. I think there are certain things, even in those types of situations where there is someone else involved, where it's like, it's okay. Like, it doesn't matter. It's all right.
I think it also depends on the person and the dynamics. Like, I think if you take a group of women and they all go out together, you might not have that issue depending on the dynamics, where it's just like, all right, this is what we're doing, this is what we're eating, okay, the bill is paid.
Right.
Versus like, I feel like in my experiences where there's like all
niggas
the extra
involved.
Shit at the end when it's time to pay, there's usually a male involved. Where it's like, all right, the bill came and it's like, yo, but I only had 2 drinks, or nah, I mean, I just had biscuits.
Right.
Yeah. I mean,
it's
first
usually
of all, where you going that you just had biscuits?
Red
Lobster. Yes.
There's usually a man involved. Like women with each other, I feel like we spend more money together. Like, but I guess we can't make a general statement, because there are some women who just feel like if there's a man there, why do I need to pay?
As far as being cheap, as far as being cheap, personally, men are normally cheap compared to women.
Okay.
Because women do splurge on themselves. They spend more money on things to look good and all of that.
Yeah,
stuff.
I will see dudes be roughing it, wolfing it to save their last. Whereas like, no, I get my hair done every 2 weeks like clockwork.
But when it comes to like sharing with the men, I feel like most women are cheap when it comes to that. But as far as spending money on themselves, by all means, splurging yourself. I mean, who else you gonna spend money on? But when it comes to when someone else is involved in a situation, that's when I feel like women tend to clutch that bag more than men clutch their, keep their wallet in their back pocket,
do you think society plays a large...
Yes.
It does. Yeah, because I mean, it's set to a point where they feel like men have to be the provider of the home. And well, most women that actually, I mean, some of the women that like I've been with that I know that, always on spending money, you know what? Oh, don't worry about it. I'll take care of it. I've had a situation where we had a little argument, whatever, and that's like the first thing she threw in my face.
Red flag.
That she paid for.
Yeah, I pay for all of that. I'm just like, first of all, I let you pay. Like I let you do it. Like, just so, because you kept us. Oh, we always pay for some shit. Let me pay for this. I'm like, by all means, go ahead. That's going in my saving, But for you to just throw that in my face, like, come on.
That's a red flag. Anytime. That's a quote I saw, I think, today, but I've seen it before. It was like, you got to be careful of people who do things for you just to be able to say that they've done things for you. Like,
right. But then does that make us cheap? Or is it like, is it a product of being cheap, or is it a product of society? Because, air quote, society. Because I feel like it's more, I feel like it's the latter. Society. Of like, you can't really call me cheap if I'm kind of just sticking with this men pay and men have been paying and they handle the bills when we go out. Like, I don't think that necessarily makes me cheap.
Just feeling entitled.
I'm wilding, but
I'm wilding.
I'm wilding, but I don't think it makes me cheap necessarily. It makes me smart for trying to clutch my wallet, my bag.
Yeah, so I want to differentiate.
Yeah, that would be a little greedy.
Differentiate between like being smart and then just being cheap, because there are some people that will label you as cheap because you're trying to like save a couple of dollars. Like I've seen on social media, like, oh, he used this Groupon to do X, Y, and Z on a day.
Wrong with that. That's smart.
He's saving y'all money.
That's smart.
Facts.
Right. So I think that's smart. But there are some people who will be like, oh, he's cheap because he used the Groupon. Or like,
you dumb. I'm sorry. You're dumb.
Are you dumb? Dumb.
Stop. You're dumb if you...
Baby,
I don't know, like as an individual, you have, well, me, I can't speak for everybody, but I have those moments where I'm like, yo, I'm not paying $600 for this if I can get it for $3.
Facts.
But I also have those moments where I'm like, I just want this and I don't care how much it costs. And I'm not going to be strategic about it. I'm going to take this L later when I'm broke, for real, $0 in my account broke. But this is what I want. And I like those Groupon coupons, saving situations, like those get me so upset because it's never about that. Like it's never about the Groupon. It's never about how much you pay, to be honest. It's about
the experience.
Right, the experience, the time that you're spending. So if you could find a Groupon, my nigga, good looking. Like
people are selective on what they're like they get up in arms about, because
especially if you're not paying for it, you really need to chill out. Like
if you, like you said, if I'm going on vacation and let's say my vacation is costing $2,000, I'm a woman, and you come to me and you're like,
I'm a woman,
right?
You are.
You come to me and you're like, hey, I got this Groupon or I got this coupon that's gonna give me 30% off of our price. Are you gonna look at me and be like, nah, I'm gonna pay this full price? You're gonna be like, nah, let me get the coupon.
And plus, normally when you get a coupon for something, it's like it's always something that's more expensive because of the discount. You're getting it cheaper.
Exactly.
Right. So I would want to be in a nicer place with a discount than go to that random place I've been going to for the last.
But I think it's maturity too. Like a lot of
these
people,
it shows your age, and
immaturity.
It shows how much.
You rather me spend all this money on this outing for one night or even this trip and then come home and be broke as fuck, versus like I saved a couple of coins and now we can go on this trip and now we still have money left over for something else.
I think the difference is,
or I can still pay my bills. Like I'm not coming back home from vacation and my lights are off because I wanted to show you that I could ball out. Like
niggas went zipline and then now you can't pay lights in the crib.
Like come on.
I think the difference is what your expectations are for whatever situation you're in. So like if we're going on vacation and it costs $2,000, $3,000, whatever, and you find a Groupon or a discount for something, because I'm also paying for that benefits me. Like, oh, it's lit. I don't have to pay as much as I was about to pay. Versus if you're going out to dinner with someone and you already expect them to pay for you, and then maybe you find out that they found a cheaper way to cover this. It's like, oh, you wasn't trying to spend X amount of money on me? Or
no, it's like, all right.
Like, save your money. Like, I'm glad that you're saving your money. Like,
people don't think like, all right, now I got the coupon for this dinner. You eat whatever you want, and now maybe I could take you now to another place if I choose to.
I think they tie it to worth. Like, oh, I'm not worth you spending the full amount, so you have to try to find some way to cut corners. And
the crazy thing is, and excuse my French, bitches love a sale. So why, when you're not paying for it, is it now a problem? Women, you don't love a sale. You're not a bitch, but like women love a sale. But I'm saying bitches because I feel like that's what you are if you make that kind of issue over somebody saving them. Like, you're a bitch. You're bitching.
Or you wouldn't have this problem if you just paid for yourself everywhere you
right.
went. So,
I feel like...
Who's milking this cow?
Right. My father always says that.
Who's milking this cow?
I just feel like if someone is doing something for you, not that you can't have a say, but you got to be more cautious of what you're saying, because now it's like, all right, do it for yourself or shut the fuck, or let me do this my way. Yeah, be mindful. Let me do this or you do it yourself. Like, if you're going to have all this to say, then you do it yourself. And I guarantee you probably weren't going to this restaurant if you had to pay for it by yourself. So shut the fuck up and eat your steak. I tell
you straight up, like, okay, you really want us to go to this place and you want me to spend this much? Okay.
I need my dick sucked later. That's what you.
That's what you say. Oh, gems. You need a drop. Oh,
that's
gems.
That's where you was going with it.
That too.
I feel like that's
that too. But it's like
what was leading up to. Like,
but
if you want this,
if we're going on vacation in August, like, don't expect me to spend money on anything for like the next 3 to 6 months. If I'm spending that much money,
I'm gonna make that 6 months.
I'm gonna make that clear. I'm gonna make that
Where
clear.
Where the fuck are we going on vacation in? And how long are we staying? 3 to 6 months, Omar? Come on now.
First of all,
nigga said 3 to 6 months.
You're not taking me to Atlantic City for the weekend
and talking about I can't ask you for nothing for 3 to 6 months. Nigga said we staying at Harrah's, so it's quiet for you for the next 6 months. And we going to the foam party, so you gotta chill. No dinner dates, no cooked meals for the next 6 months. Yo, you gotta chill, Omar.
Now,
this is like old gems.
I mean, like, if I'm like flying you out somewhere, feel me?
Where are we going? That I can understand maybe 3 months, but 6 months.
I said 3 to 6 months. 3 to 6 months.
That's half of a year. Like, you're wild. I don't know if I'm rolling. You looking like Future out here. And you can say you get the rollie, but you're not getting nothing else until next year.
Listen, time is important. Like I said, time is
not
important.
Getting nothing else till next year. You can say you got to do a bid for this vacation. Where are we going, Omar? Where are we going that I gotta?
If I'm flying you out somewhere and I'm paying for the flight, the hotel, and everything there,
what's the price range? I need clarification. Because it can't be Atlantic City.
The price range would depend on how much I have in my savings.
Nah, but like, what's a significant amount of money where you're just like, all right, you gotta relax for the next 3 to 6 months.
If I let's give an example. If I only have $100 in my possession, and whatever we're about to do, it's gonna cost me $50. Yeah, you're gonna have to wait till I get that $50 again. Till I re-up.
All right, so if I'm like. All right, the girl that you're with, you good?
That was it for me.
The girl that you with is like, I want to go to Peru. And let's say for everything it was like what, like 4,000? We don't know.
Fuck no.
All right, let's say you spend like 4,000. She gotta wait 6 months before you do anything else for her.
If I have Peru money times 4, I don't mind spending that 25%. But if I only have Peru money times 2 and I got to spend that 50%, yeah, then you're going to have to wait for that 3 to 6 months.
Technically, they say that you can't afford something unless you can buy it twice. So if you have 2 times the amount of Peru money, you should still be in pretty good shape.
Yeah, but if I buy it twice, then I'm going to be broke.
So you wouldn't buy it twice. But you wouldn't.
All right, so it's $4,000 for the both of y'all. You didn't break your savings or anything, but you spent $4,000. Are you like, all right, you're not getting nothing else until
you feel 6 months later? Enough?
I mean, if it's play money, then that's fine.
Excuse me.
Play money.
Right.
What is that?
What bank is that associated with?
What is that?
Yeah, why girls be acting like I don't be having play money? I feel like, man, girls be getting money from their father. That's something that guys do not get to experience.
I don't get no money from my father.
I don't get money from my father either.
I don't get money
for other reasons, but any father.
Yeah,
I feel like women that live in with both their mother and their father in the same household. I feel like most of the time the father would just give him like, a little play money.
I'm living proof that is not the case. I lived with both my parents I grew up with both of them, and my father ain't never said like, here's some play. Really?
It's because
you want to know how asking my father for money would be like.
Right? Who's milking this cow?
Did you ask your mom? All right. Be like, all right, this is all the money I got. Like, niggas counting his last to give me, making me feel bad that I'm going on this school trip.
I feel like you'll get play money from both your mom or your father, simply because as a guy, they just like, yeah, you're a man now, you could work, like go earn your own money.
Men be on their mom's breast forever. Like, a man is more likely to go home and get whatever he needs from his mother. Not from his father, but from his mother. The thing
is, with guys, I gotta ask for it. Like, not saying that I will pay it back. I'm gonna tell her, Mom, I'll pay you back. Not guaranteeing that I'm gonna pay her back.
But she wouldn't even care about that.
Yeah, but with women, it's like they just get it without asking.
I don't know. How old are we talking? I think those days go out the window after like high school.
Like teenage years.
I feel like that's a white people thing.
Yeah. Okay.
I feel like it's a white people thing. Also, when it comes to men, I feel like men could get X amount of money, maybe from their mom, even some from their dad, and go and get trashed on fucking Coronas and whatever, and re-up the next day. Like,
I think men and their mothers, most men that I know that have like, relationships with their mother, like, there's nothing that woman will not do for her son. Like, this nigga could be 87 years old. If he go to his mom's house, she's stopping everything, cooking a whole feast.
Right.
Probably cutting his hair.
That's how it's supposed to be. Nah.
That's why that's why they be looking for women to be doing the same shit for them. Exactly. Like, listen, I am not your mother.
Yeah, because if my man is not there, I gotta have another man in the house, so I gotta take care of him.
No. Niggas need to get it together. Like, you just
I'm not your mother. So whatever your mother does for you, don't come to me looking like, yo. Because I feel like a lot of men have that expectation. Like, oh, my mom will give me my last. She'll drop everything and cook for me. Like, I too work a full-time job. So when I come home, I'm not dropping everything.
Listen,
to cook for
I
you.
just did your laundry. Don't ask me for nothing for the next 3 to 6 months.
Right?
That's it.
3 to 6 months.
I just folded your clothes. Don't ask me for nothing for the next 3 to 6 months till I re-up on my energy. That's it.
Do you feel the same way as Omar as far as like, let's say...
Yo, he fucked me up. I'm not even gonna lie.
Let's say you...
I was like weeks, maybe he about to say.
He said months.
I'm talking about trips though. I'm talking about taking trips though. Like, how many times do you expect to be going out?
I want to go on a trip. My goal is at least 4 times a year.
4 times a year?
Yeah.
You got money.
Right.
Nah, but
see what I'm talking about? Like, twice a year, I understand that.
I get
twice a year. Goal. I said my goal is 4 times a year.
Twice a year, that explains the 3 to 6 months. Come on. But 4 times a year? Come on. You wildin'.
I second
4 times a year, I'm wildin'. I feel like we work hard while we can't go on vacation. And I'm also not saying that you have to pay for my portion of the trip every time that we go away.
It also doesn't have to be a crazy trip every time you do something. I
don't even think most people get that much vacation time at work to be flying out.
But I mean,
4 times a week.
You gotta.
I don't take vacation 4 times a year, but
yeah, I was working somewhere. You got 4 weeks of vacation, so that's 4 times a year right there.
Yeah, but if I'm flying out somewhere, I don't want to just be there for a week. I want to be there for at least.
So you're talking money. You're talking money.
Yeah,
because there's certain places you're not staying there for 12 days. In some places, like
okay.
Yeah, I think it depends on like
where you going.
Where you're going, how long you're staying. But I do agree, like 2 times a year, I think is pretty, like once every 6 months, like this half and then this half. Which in that regard, I understand, like, yo, we not taking another trip in 3 months where I'm dropping another 4,000. Like, that's a little excessive.
Right. Yeah, so in that case, I understand. But I also feel like if you are in a relationship with someone, unless you have money like that, like it shouldn't be the other person's expectation that you're just covering all expenses, no matter if you're the man in the relationship or whatever the case may be.
But if we're taking another trip, it's still going to require me to come up with some type of money.
Facts.
But there's a difference between you paying $4,000 to $6,000 for both of us every time we take a trip. Then yeah, nigga, you taking 1 trip a year because I just dropped $6,000 for us to go to this one place. Versus like, all right, the trip costs $2,000 or $1,000 a piece. That's more.
How you know I want to spend that much?
Then you don't want to go.
In 3 months.
You don't want to go. Or like you just balance your shit accordingly. Like I think I've taken trips twice a year. Like big trips twice a year. But my goal would be four times a year. But I'm not, I'm working towards that.
Taking more than 2 trips, you better. The next one would be a Groupon discount.
Right. Listen, whatever's getting us, as long as I'm not staying in no shitty hotel, I don't even care.
And we not judging you, Kamsz. We here for the Groupons.
Mm-hmm.
I'm here for the Groupons too, but my hotel, like, I gotta be on point. It can't be can't be laying on a cot. In East Africa or somewhere. Like I want, like if I'm going somewhere, like I gotta go correct.
That could be the theme for the
right. I'm like
not sleeping outside because I got a Groupon. Like
that could be the theme for the. Yeah, I agree. Like comfort is a big thing when you're traveling, just somewhere outside of being home. Like you don't. Of course, you find deals in other places that are better than other places, but you don't want it to be like this crazy stains on the mattress type of situation, and you just there because it was affordable. Like that's not the experience I'm trying to have.
18 niggas in the room because it was affordable. Like,
right.
Wow.
So I feel you.
But yeah,
Yo, my chest hurt. I'm not even going.
You said nowhere till 3 to 6 months.
I'm glad you specified afterwards, but I needed you to specify beforehand, before I died and came back to life. Like 3 to 6 months? Like shit. Shit.
Ladies, we
can't go to Red Lobster.
Get you a Old Gems. Right, and that's another thing. Not trips.
Get you a Old Gems.
But like in between, like we can't go out to eat because you just took us on a trip.
That's what it means. Or you can, but you gonna pay for it. Omar's not gonna pay for it.
Shit.
He gonna be eating up all the biscuits.
Facts.
But Applebee's got what, the 2 for 25 or something? Like I don't know.
Niggas not paying $12.50. Like
said I don't even got it.
I ain't got $12.50. It's a dub.
But shout out to Omar for gracing us with his presence on today's episode.
I needed this. Thank you. Thank you. I needed this.
Hopefully we'll be hearing more of him soon. Because clearly we're not seeing him. Right. Let them know where they can find you.
What you call on Instagram, OS Production _.
Underscore?
Yeah.
2 underscores.
Just
right?
one. Oh. I got my one back. I just kept on trying it over and over.
Right. So disregard what I said earlier in the episode. It's
either way, it's like either way, I feel like you'll find me anyway. Whether you put 1 underscore or 2 underscore.
Production.
Or just OS Production everywhere.
Okay.
Yeah.
And TJ?
You guys can find me on Twitter at Big Reddington. That's BIGREDDINGTON. You can also find me on Instagram at High Dopenition. That's HI.DOPENITION. And let us know.
We're gonna have some polls this week.
What you guys think is cheap, and if men are cheaper than women, and if Future is wildin', if Rus Wilson is wildin', even though we know he's not, but you can tell us what you think so we can tell you that you're wrong. Let us know what you think. But Kamsz, where can we find you?
At Kamsz, KAMSZZ on Instagram and Twitter. You can also find me at Sparked by Simone on YouTube. You can also follow the podcast on YouTube. True. I Said What I Said podcast, as well as on Instagram. So we'll catch y'all next time. This has been I Said What I Said, Le Podcast.
Peace.